Hi, this is Haley Boyko, and I'm going to be discussing my critical assignment. For this, I use the sport of basketball and the position of point guard. My population is females that are ages 14 through 18, so the competition level is high school. So first, let's go over the general warm-up. And for this, I chose footwork as an offensive drill, one-on-one drill for defense and offense, actually. It does both. Karaoke's to cover speed and footwork, and rebounds for technique and quickness. For a specific warm-up, I chose layups, which is a shooting drill, obviously. High knees for stretching the hips and getting the legs moving. A three-point shot for shooting distance, and then catching drills for technique and quickness. So let's go over the mesocycle 1 for off-season. So in off-season, I chose for my players to focus on hypertrophy and they're at an advanced level. So for power exercises, I have hang cleans and snatch and clean. And then for core, I have front squat, pull up, incline bench press, for assistance, I have ab crunch, seated row, and stiff leg deadlift. And for muscle balance, I have bird dogs and then banded walks. Okay, so and also sports specific, I have dumbbell press, goblet squat, and hip thrusts. So they will be doing 4 resistance days a week. So I'll go over week 1. So day 1 consists of 3 sets and 8 reps of a snatch and clean, 4 sets and 10 reps of a front squat, 3 sets of 12 reps of a stiff leg deadlift, 5 sets of 15 reps of an ab crunch, 3 sets of 12 reps for hip thrusts, 4 sets of 12 reps for goblet squat, and 4 sets of 20 reps for banded walks. And then day 2 has a similar setup, but different exercises. So 3 sets and 8 reps of a hang clean, 4 sets and 12 reps of an incline bench press, 3 sets and 15 reps of a pull up, and 3 sets and 10 reps of a seated row, 4 sets of 12 reps of the dumbbell press, and 4 sets of 20 reps of the bird dogs. So these days are set up where the energy that the athlete needs the most, what exercise they need the most energy for, is at the beginning of the workout, and that is the power exercises. So the snatch and clean and the hang clean are what the athlete really needs to focus on. And as you can see, their rest time in between their sets of the power exercises are going to be a lot longer than the other rest times, because they're using so much energy and it's a complex movement, and their muscles need to recover before doing that again. Day 3 is the same as day 1, and day 4 is the same as day 2. So throughout my whole assignment, there are a lot of repetitions because, there's a lot of redundancy, because in order for the athlete to become accustomed to something and for their muscles to acclimate to what they're doing, they need to be repetitive in it. And I think 6 weeks of doing the same program over and over again is a perfect amount of time. And then once the body's used to that, then you can switch it up and shock the muscles into doing something new. So day 1 and day 3 are the same, and day 2 and day 4 are the same for week 1 through week 6. So there's no need to go over it again. So now we're going to go into preseason. So the primary goal of preseason is more speed and plyometrics, and the training status is intermediate. So for these, I chose uphill sprints, downhill sprints, and technique work as speed exercises. And then for plyo, I chose box jumps, burpees, and squat jumps. And then both speed and plyometrics will be used 4 times a week. So week 1, day 1, it starts with speed and then ends with recovery, and then the plyo's in the middle, and the same for day 2 and the rest of the weeks. So day 1 has technique work, so 5 sets of 10 reps of this at a low intensity just to get things warmed up. And then we go into downhill sprints, so 5 sets of 40 yards, and that is max intensity. So however intense the athlete can get to, they need to reach their threshold. So they have a higher rest time because of that. Next, box jumps, 5 sets of 12 reps, 80% max intensity, and then 90-second rests. Then we go into burpees, 5 sets of 10 reps, 90% intensity, and 90 seconds of rest. And then our recovery is dynamic stretches, just to get everything loosened up. So 3 sets of 20 reps, 20% intensity, only 10-second rest. And then day 2 has the same setup as far as categories, but the exercises are just a tiny bit different. So we do start with technique work again, but then we go into uphill sprints instead of downhill sprints, which is a whole different way of doing things. 5 sets of 40 yards for that, again, max intensity. And then we go into squat jumps. So 5 sets of 12 reps, 80% intensity, 90-second rest. Then burpees again, just because that's a total body movement, very good for the core and strength and everything. And then dynamic stretches to end it off. And then again, day 1 and day 3 are the same, and day 2 and day 4 are the same for the 6 weeks. Okie dokes. Now let's go into in season. So now our goal has changed to power and speed. So I chose similar exercises compared to off season. For speed, we have technique work and sprints. Plyometrics, we have box jumps. Power, we have power clean, core, front squats, pull up. Assistance, seated row, stiff leg deadlift, and then banded walks and bird dogs for muscle balance. Sports specific hip thrust, dumbbell press, and injury prevention is dynamic stretches. And aerobic is 10-minute jog. So I didn't put it in on the actual weeks, but each athlete is to start up and end with a 10-minute jog for their aerobic portion of their training. So we have 2 speed days a week, 2 plyo, 4 resistance, 4 aerobic. So day 1, week 1, we start with our power clean, 5 sets of 2 reps, 80% intensity, long rest. Front squats are next, and that's a core exercise. We have 5 sets of 8 reps at a 75% intensity. Then we go into our stiff leg deadlifts as an assistance workout, 4 sets of 12 reps at a 60% intensity, and then we go into hip thrusts for more sport specific, 4 sets of 10 reps at a 70% intensity, and then to end it off for muscle balance, we have banded walks, and that is 3 sets of 20 reps at a 50% intensity. And then day 2, we start with speed. So we go into our technique work, and then we go into our box jumps, which is plyometrics. 4 sets of 12 reps of box jumps. For this core workout, we do pull-ups, so we're more of an upper body day on day 2, and day 1 is a lower body day. So day 2 has a pull-up, a seated row, a dumbbell press, and then the muscle balance is bird dog. So similar setup, just more upper body focused, and we have our speed and plyo, whereas in day 1 we had our power. So again, day 1 is the same as day 3, and day 2 is the same as day 4. Alrighty, and finally we go into postseason, and this primary goal is active rest and hypertrophy again. Training status is intermediate. For core, we have our back squat and pull up, assistance, seated row, stiff leg deadlift, and you can see that we're using a lot of the same exercises just so the athlete develops very specific muscles and gets acclimated to these exercises. Muscle balance, banded walks, bird dogs, sport-specific dumbbell press, and hip thrusts. Injury prevention, again, is dynamic stretches, and aerobic is 20-minute cardio. So we have 4 resistance days a week, and then the aerobic along with that. So day 1, we start with our core exercise, and that is our back squat. And then we have 4 sets of 12 reps. So we're going to go for more volume in what is this? I think off season, right? Postseason, yeah. We're going for more volume instead of intensity Sorry, no, we're going for more reps and not to max out. So that's why you'll see higher repetitions and less intensity. Okay, and then we go into stiff leg deadlift, 3 sets of 12 reps at a 60%. Hip thrusts, 3 sets of 15 reps, 60%. Banded walks, 4 sets of 20 at a 50%. And then we're ending with 20 minutes of cardio for our aerobics, and that is just at a 50% intensity. And that repeats every day. We end with aerobic. And then day 2 is our upper body day. So our first day was more lower extremity focused, and now we're going into day 2, and that's where we do upper body. So our core movement instead of a squat is now a pull up, and then we go into our seated row or dumbbell press, and then for muscle balance we have bird dogs, and then again we finish off with the 20-minute cardio. And day 1 and day 3 are the same, and day 2 and day 4 are the same. So yeah, that was my presentation, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I would program my basketball athletes. So thank you so much for listening.